We can get hit by the maid over here. Oh, I think there's something in this in the potted plants over here. There you go. All the stuff. Boom, 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 shaboom. Okay, so this will eventually all be getting into there. Hello and welcome, YouTube. So, for those of you that missed it, I did a previous build with the same case by the same manufacturer. This case is coming from China.
China. I've been saying China. China. China.
So it does take a little bit longer, but I imagine the construction quality and everything else to be similar. The way they're packaged already, I can tell that they're, coming from the similar warehouse. So these are going to take a little bit longer to get to you. Okay, so right off the bat, this one is angled. It does have a slope, where the previous build I did not have a slope. It was completely flat. The hardware looks almost exactly the same suction cups, same screws, so those worked out just fine. You can definitely drill out the bag, add different ports and things like that. The case itself has these little reinforcement bars here, which probably help with the rigidity of it. And then the biggest difference being that not only is this is a similar setup, but you get 2 additional buttons. That's the big differentiator here. Let's go ahead and take off this paper. All right, there's the back side, which is off. And like I said, it's a little messed up around the sides, but that's fine, it's just the back. All right, so there you go, looking beautiful. I'm sure I'm gonna get it dirty soon. So really quick, just an unboxing on this. I really like it because these are pre-drilled and they have like a secondary drill there, so the screw actually sits in there perfectly flush, so it doesn't catch on your finger, makes for a way more sleek look. A lot of people don't like this because there's only 6 buttons instead of 8, but you do get the 2 on the side now. So this does turn it into an 8 button or 10 button total if you count the start and select. Do know that the start and select is a smaller hole, so you're gonna need the smaller buttons for that. The hardware's really nice. Something that people don't consider is that when you are buying these kits, especially the arcade stick kits, a lot of them do not come with these mounting bolts here for the actual joystick, and they are included here. So by buying most of those cheap arcade sticks that you find on eBay and stuff like that, you are getting the hardware you need, so you do not have to shop for that. The only other thing you might want to shop for is a lot of these I am going to be installing LED buttons that do glow, so you are going to need a wiring harness like this. You could get that at Game Room Solutions or on eBay. It's a 2-player, so I cut mine in half, so this is the second time I'm using the same harness. So for $10, I got 1 harness that I've used twice in 2 different builds of single players. So it's like about $5 per build for the LED wiring. And then for the buttons for this video, we're going to be using the, I bought a 2-player button kit. You may have remembered on my other black setup here, I use white LED buttons. And now I'm going to be using the blue ones. So the blue set here, and I have 2 extra whites from the previous build. I might put the whites on the side. I might put the whites on the side. So we'll see. I've got enough blues for the whole thing, but I like the contrast in colors. I think that might be cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is go 8 blues, blue joystick, and then here's all the parts, by the way. All the stuff. Boom, 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 shaboom. Okay, so this will eventually all be getting into there. So really, you're not gonna need this back plate for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. What I probably want to do first is just weave in the buttons and open the packaging. So I'm going to probably time lapse this. So for the next part, we're just going to weave in all the buttons. All right, and then for this, you typically want it in the lower right-hand corner. You want it to go to the right, so. Yeah, lower left, so there you go, something like that. Okay, and then for this, you have the screws over here. I'm pretty sure these are all the same, yes. So for this build, I'm not gonna put in the rubber pieces, but if I was to do it, you just put it in right here, and you use these extra long screws here, and they just go straight through. I don't know if you can see that, but the screw just goes right through it like that. That's how you put down the rubbers, but we're not gonna use those. They stick really well, by the way. Okay. So there you have it. There's this. I'll put the ball on later. The other thing you need to put on is the little cover washer. So eventually it'll look like that. Right, so that's what we're eventually gonna get to here. Okay, now comes the wiring. The silver terminals are for the trigger, and the yellow terminals are for the LED lights. I don't think it matters which is red and which is black, because it's just a switch. It's just connecting the two. But what I'm doing is I'm putting the red on the slightly higher one. The one that's closer to the center of the button. Alright, so those are all in. You also have this strip here. Typically I go like this. I have the little, they have one side that has a, that's flat and one side has a couple bumps. But you'll find really quickly that you might have to turn this around, like blue on the outside, white on the inside. I'm gonna start with white, and then I may have to rotate it later, especially if your joystick doesn't work. That's the simple fix for it. So now I'm actually gonna run the LED wires as well. One way to do it is just run all these wires and then run the, I'm gonna try that. I don't think I've ever done that before, where I just ran these first, and then that way we could see how it goes. The other thing is you have the USB wire here, which I'll put in last, but that's just gonna go, the USB wire just goes through the back. But that'll eventually go there. Okay, so we got start and select. Select is this one. So we're just gonna go over here, and there's little things, there's written things on the back. It says K1, 2, 3, 4, L2, R2, L1, R1, SE is select, start. So I know where select is, so I'll just go ahead and put it on select. And then start. So we got those two done. And then I just like to go in order myself. So it's gonna be like this. This is gonna be 1, 5, 6. And now this one's gonna be, I'm gonna do this one last, but this will be 7 and 8. R2s. I guess that's R2, right? Or R1. Okay? So we got that. Now comes the LED wires. So we have a positive, we have a negative. We also have, I have an old Samsung charger right here. They're usually 6 watts, just so you know. You do not want to add more than 6 watts to these things, or else you will blow bulbs really quickly. So just don't do it. Say no to sending too much juice to them. Okay, so I already have it set up. I've already separated my wires, you know, one red, one black to go into these. I have my power adapter. This one is 5 volts at 0.7 amps, so I don't think it's gonna be that strong, but I think it'll light them, and it was free. So I can always upgrade this later. I like going to thrift stores, getting them there as well. It's a good cheap way to get them. Just cut off the cords and wire them in. And I'm just gonna go again with the reds that I already have. Okay, so I want to actually tape off two. I want to tape off two. I think that's long enough. Maybe do two, and then I won't need this last one, so I'm just going to pull it out. Okay, so I got a couple extra here. Maybe even another harness later. So eventually it'll be like this, so I'm just going to put these like this. And then we've got the first one, red. And then the second one, red. Okay, so we got our power. We just need to strip this and then. Okay, and that's done. So that's gonna be ready just to add to my little power adapter here. And then now we gotta do the negatives. If you're not running LED lights, this is, as you can already probably tell, it's a very easy job if you weren't running LEDs. Okay, so that one's ready too. And I'm just gonna follow the same order that I did on the previous one. Okay, and then I just gotta add in these two, but what I do wanna do is go ahead and test these out. So let's go ahead and finish the loop here. We've got a black and we've got a red. Here's our red, so let's do red first. Closer and closer we come. So now I think we can test the lights here. We can also add this on there, finish off that. Nice. So as you see, all the LEDs are working. Now the last couple things to do is run a test on it. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it. I do want to add in, I think this should be one, so do you want to go ahead and throw these in really quick? You do want to plug in your USB. So USB's in, and then I'm just gonna go plug this in my Pi. Another thing to do is you could put it in your computer. I've done previous videos how to do that. It's very easy. But for the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and test this out on my Pi. All right, we're getting close. So I did have to go ahead and rotate this around for my joystick. It's upside down for you right now. I did have to rotate the wire around because it wasn't working at first. So the blue side is up versus the white side on this particular kit. So there you have it. I could double side tape this if I wanted to fairly easily. I'm just gonna button this up though just to get it in. Other thing to do is you can put a Raspberry Pi inside of it. You got lots of room in the back corner over here. You can do all sorts of things. I'm just gonna wire this for as a joystick though, so there's nothing inside. So next up is just kind of move everything in position. Make sure you can close everything. So you see how I readjusted it so when these buttons fall down onto this, it gives me the most space between the wires, so that way wires don't hit each other once this is all put down inside. Okay, so now the main thing is just getting these wires to line up through the back. Almost there. Last couple touches. Get the little cloth here. So it will attract fingerprints as you see, but you know, like a little microfiber cloth or something should be able to fix it right up. So it is a glossy finish. So as I mentioned, this one will take a little longer to get to because it is coming from China. There's another version of this which isn't sloped and doesn't have the two buttons on the side. But there you go. I ended up total cable length between the two of them, you know, a good 3 or 4 feet. I can always, you know, strap tie this or put it together. And as far as power, just plug it right in. And there you go. Looking good. And then you got the two on the side. So you can be, I don't know if you can, what you could do is you can use these buttons as A, B, and then use these as select start if you want. Select start, and then you have 8 here. Select start. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. I think if you want the most useful, like you can't really reach over here. So you might want to use these as action buttons and then these as admin buttons. And that's pretty cool. I like the blue. I always thought I would have liked the white and black better, but the blue is pretty cool too. I'll put a link to this arcade kit as well. Banggood.com hooked me up with it on a previous build. I bought a 2-player and I ended up just making 2 1-players out of it. And the case is available on Amazon. It's a great case. I really like the curvature. You saw how easy that was. If I didn't have to install the LEDs, I could have done it in half the time. All you need to do is hit start, go to configure input. Yes, there you go. 2 game badges detected. I have my other controller hooked in as well. I'm gonna go ahead and go up, down, left, right. Let's try this. Start, select A, B, X, Y, L, R, L, R. And then we could skip all these. You just gotta hold down a button. And then you just wanna make sure that you get your hotkey enable. And I just make that whatever I set as select. All right, so now I just set up my controls. Let's go, Maggie. So as you can see, really good, really responsive. All right. This is where the suction cups would help. Oh, that's pretty bad. I like went. It was like, hey, there's a bullet. I should go drive straight to it. As you can see, much quieter than the. I love the little splashes. So cool. Than regular standard buttons, you don't get that clickety-clack noise, but some people like that, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Load up that screen with enemies. Enemy units approaching. Oh! So then you can start select out. So there you have it. That's the Green Alicious theme, but this is the Blue Alicious, Black Alicious, acrylic arcade LED arcade kit. Links in the description to any of this stuff. I pretty much took you step by step. If you have any additional questions, let me know. But as you saw, really simple, really easy to do, and it really does make a custom image even better, and it really gives you that arcade look and feel. For, you know, I'm guessing probably all this under $50 is what you can do all this for, and it's a fun little project. I really think a beginner can do this no problem. It's a great electrical project, great for kids, fun for the whole family, or just make them and sell them when they're already completed. It's up to you. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.